Welcome to the Daily Swole. Welcome everyone to the flagship episode of the Daily Swole. That's right. Today we are talking about counting gains, as you see in the title. Now, just to give you a little bit of background on me, since this is going to be the first rebranding of our episodes, my name is Dash Kellner, aka the Swolenormous, and I have a huge background in the fitness industry, both personally and professionally. I have a degree in exercise science. I have the CSCS, the Certified Strength Conditioning Specialist certification that you can only get with a 4-year degree. I am NASM CPT, CES, and PS certified. I taught for NASM for 4 years. I have written an educational program on kinesiology for NASM. I also have open gyms. I've trained boot camps on the beach. I've trained all the fanciest condos in Miami. I taught numerous certifications for P90X and Insanity. I am a master instructor. So I have a lot of information to give, and I have a lot of games to share. I'm excited. I had my coffee today, so I'm amped up. Counting gains. So let's get started. Some of you that have been following my journey and my rhetoric for a while know that I do not count reps. I don't count reps. I don't count sets. So when I talk about counting gains, let's discuss a little bit about what that means in terms of counting reps, counting sets. The classic is 3 sets, 10 reps. Okay, big deal. 3 sets, 10 reps. That's very standard. That's very black and white. That doesn't leave a lot of room to grow. That doesn't leave a lot of room for creativity. Not to mention your body adapts very quickly. So when you have an issue, let's say with growth, with adaptation, with seeing progress, you're going to, you can't see progress if you're doing 3 sets of 10 all the time. Stresses me out. It's so standard. It's such a complete disregard for how dynamic the body is. So when you're looking at, let's say, a ever-changing, ever-morphing human body. Everything's always moving, nothing's ever stagnant. Even when you're sitting down, nothing is ever still. So when you just put a limit, when you put a ceiling on the body, when you put a ceiling and you just put 10 repetitions, what you're doing mentally is you're giving yourself a limit. You're capping your capacity. You're capping your capacity for growth. You're capping your capacity for progress, for success. You are just limiting yourself. And there's no surprise and there's no secret why when you get to about 8, 9 repetitions, you start to really burn and get tired. It's because your body knows the set's almost over and you're ready to punch out. So one of the reasons why I don't count reps or sets, it's not that I have no idea or I have disregard for exercise science and that I don't care about repetitions, that it has nothing, not that it has no matter. It's a very big deal and it matters a lot because lower repetitions work more towards strength and hypertrophy and higher repetitions work more towards strength endurance and just general muscular endurance. So when you are doing lower reps, you're having a certain adaptation as a result. When you're doing higher reps, you're going to lead towards certain adaptations as a result. So depending on your goal, repetitions are very important. Now my point is when you're doing those repetitions, are you counting, okay, have I gotten to 15? Is that it? Am I stopping because I got to 15? Or are you stopping because 15 is the last one that you could possibly do? When you are doing strength, when you're doing 1 rep, 2 rep, 3 rep, 4 rep, 5 rep, you really have a lot less of a range for just stopping because you feel like it, because you are reaching towards your peak. You're kind of hitting towards like a 2 rep max, a 3 rep max. You're really going towards that repetition max range. That being said, if that's your goal, that's fine. But those people that are doing hypertrophy, are looking for muscle growth, those people that are looking for muscular endurance, are looking for a certain physical adaptation, that are looking for to shape their bodies, more like a bodybuilding type. Like I want to look a certain way. Most people go to the gym because they want to look a certain way. They want to have a certain physique. They want to have a certain aesthetic. Now, those people really need to think about what I'm saying here right now. Counting repetitions, counting sets will put you in the fucking ground. it will limit you. It will end your fitness. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. You start counting, you get into that system, you get into that mindset where everything is just black and white. Everything is 8, 9, 10. 3 sets of 10, then I do 3 sets of, or 3 sets of 12, then I do 8, 12, 10, 8, 6. I understand pyramids. I understand pyramid training. I understand periodized training. I understand undulating programs where you're doing high rep weeks, low rep weeks. I understand that those concepts are solid. However, limiting yourself with a number psychologically, you will stunt your growth, so to speak. You will stunt your growth, and that kind of mentality will perpetuate throughout your fitness career. You will never get over that. Once you start counting, it'll be very hard to undo that bad habit. So what I do is when I go to the gym, I mix it up. I rarely go really heavy and really low reps. Not too often, just because of the strain, and strength is not my primary objective. So when I'm doing a workout, when I'm doing a training, I pick a rep range, or I pick a weight where I know I can get, I'll be able to get about 8 to 15. But I rep that until I can't move my arms. If I end up getting 20, 25 reps, well, I know I gotta grab heavier weight. So you know not to limit yourself. Don't cap yourself with 10 reps. Don't say 15. Pick a weight that will challenge you, that you know you'll fail anywhere between 8 and 15 repetitions. But what's gonna happen is if you pick a set number, that's gonna psychologically set you off. That's gonna psychologically, decapitate you for the rest of your sets, okay? For the rest of your training, okay? As I finish talking here about these reps, I want people to start throwing those questions out. I know everyone has questions about repetitions and sets and so forth, and I have a few that I got from Snapchat that I'll relay. So if you have questions, post them up. You can ask them now. These concepts are so ingrained. They're ingrained in education. They're ingrained if you learn a certification. They're ingrained if you go to school. They're ingrained if you talk to the gym bros and say, oh man, you should do 10 reps, do 10, 8, 6, 6, or 10, 8, 6, 4. These are not ill-conceived concepts. It's so natural for the human body to count. It's so natural to count. It's so natural to count 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 10. You learn that when you're 2 years old, when you're 3 years old. You learn this stuff. You learn this stuff when you're a baby. You learn how to count. So it's natural to go 1, 2. I still even hear I even hear people in the gym still counting to 10. They count the reps out loud. Instead of focusing on breathing, focusing on form, and focusing on pushing themselves as hard as they can, I hear them counting 8, 9, as if they have to say it out loud to reinforce that they're actually lifting and working out. Stop counting. Stop wasting your breath. Stop wasting your mental space counting. Counting fucking reps. Why are you counting reps? Lift that shit. Push yourself as hard as you can. You're in this gym for maybe 45 minutes, maybe half an hour. You might not even be able to get there 6, 7 days a week. You might even be able to get there, 4 or 5 days a week, maybe 3. Maybe you got kids, you have a family, you don't have the opportunity to go to the gym all the time and spread out your workouts. You got to get stuff done. And you're sitting there counting reps. Push yourself. Cut down the rest periods. Resting's for the weak. Resting's for the dead. I'm not saying don't rest, but push yourself. Stop counting everything. Stop putting a limit on everything. Okay? Super important concepts. I'll take a question. I do the same, but counting in my head. I do 2 to 3 hours working out. You work out for 2 or 3 hours? Gains, Tommy, I know you got some questions about reps, or at least a comment. You work out for 2 or 3 hours. All right, well, getting into, time in the gym, that's a whole other thing, but counting reps and, that's going to limit your growth. And also working out for too long, that could be an effect for, you're still counting how long you've been in the gym. But, workout length is a whole other topic. Maybe that'll be something we'll touch on tomorrow. But that, and again, it's definitely you don't want to overload your muscles, and you're working out 2 or 3 hours a day, or 2 or 3 hours. You're not doing that every day, are you? But bottom line, here's what I want to close with in terms of my statement and my concept. Counting gains. Don't quantify your workouts with reps and sets. Pick an exercise. Do it till it's done. As Arnold said, do it till it hurts. Yeah, he said do it till it hurts. When it burns you feel the muscles exploding. Come on, push it 2 more. Come on, you can do it. That's what he said. He said it just like that. Yeah, do it Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. All right, so Arnold said, these are the classic bodybuilders. Steroids are not. These guys work. These guys were the pioneers. Working out, do it till it hurts. Do it till it's done. That's exactly right. Do it till it hurts. Do it till it's done. If it's not done, then keep going. Pick an exercise. You want to do dumbbell bench press? Do dumbbell bench press. Fine. Don't stop at 10 reps. Pick a heavy weight. Try to fail anywhere between 8 and 15 repetitions. If you know that you're doing, if you have an idea you're doing, all right, it's too light, I'm doing 20 reps, go till failure, and then grab heavier weight and do another set and keep going. Do dumbbell bench press. I challenge you, do an exercise until your body tells you, I'm done with it. Do 10 sets. Do 15 sets. Do 20 sets. Go there, do dumbbell bench press, and do that the entire workout. Do push-ups the entire time. Do half an hour of push-ups. See how many push-ups, quality push-ups that you can do. Try that. You know, you want to do curls? Guess what? The biceps only does one freaking thing, elbow flexion. So guess what? Do elbow flexion for 30 minutes. Okay? There is a difference in different styles and different exercise and different mechanical positioning, but the basic joint function will always be the same. Elbow flexion is elbow flexion. Do it and finish it. I do more fitness, like losing weight in 3 sets, 10 kilograms, 20 kilograms, and 20. Sure. So you can do those drop sets. Drop sets are, it's fine to go heavier. As you go through the workout, it's fine to go heavier. You can increase the weight. You can decrease the reps in general. As you increase the weight, you're going to have to decrease the reps. You can't do 50 pounds and the most you can do is 10 reps and do 100 pounds and, I'm going to do 30 reps. That's not going to happen. It's just not physically possible if you're maxing out. The heavier you go, the less reps you'll be able to do. And that's all well and good. That's fine. But what you have to understand is that range of when you're failing, don't count and don't stop at 10. Have an idea. This weight I'll probably be able to get at least 9 or 10 reps. Start throwing your body. If you're used to counting, throw your body off. Count, do 9 rep sets, do 11 rep sets, do 13 rep sets. At minimum, confuse yourself. Confuse your brain. Enough with these even numbers. 6, 8, 10, 12. That's so, except for 15, that's so arbitrary. That's so random. All these exercise tests and all these studies, all they show, they pick these flat round numbers for testing. They get a sample population of 20, 30, 50 people. They have them all do the same exercise, same reps. They get their age, they get their same background. Let's say they're all cyclists, they're all triathletes, they're all bodybuilders. They do a test and they measure strength progress over weeks, and then they publish a study, and then we find, 10 reps for 3 sets is the best for building muscle. So, this doesn't mean that's the only way to build muscle. Doesn't mean that 20 reps can't build muscle. Doesn't mean that 6 reps can't build muscle. This is one study. So take these 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 repetitions, take them, with a bag of salt, thousands of grains of salt. Understand that as much as that can be true in general, it's still going to be different for you as a person. As an individual, you are different. You're different than all those people in the study. There could be 50 people, there could be 1,000 people in that study. It's still not you. It's still not you in that study. So you have to find out what works for you, but don't limit yourself. This launching pad, my ability and this platform that I'm blessed to have to be able to share this information with you, don't take it lightly. And don't take my word for it, try it. Try going to the gym. It's gonna be really awkward. If you're used to counting, you're gonna get real serious anxiety. You're gonna start freaking out because counting is what you're used to. Like I said, since when you're 2 or 3, you learn 1, 2, 3, ABCs, Jackson 5, ABCs, 1, 2, 3. You're used to counting. You are so used to counting. It's ingrained. See? You make me motivated daily to go to the gym. Well, guess what? When I do these things, you motivate me to go to the gym. But, this is all try it. Try it, then buy it. Okay? Go to the gym, pick a heavy weight, and lift it. I want you to lift until you can't do another rep. I'm not saying hurt yourself. Can't do another rep. If you do, let's say it turns out that you do 4 reps, or 4 sets, or 5 sets, and you're like, wow, my muscles are kind of telling me I'm done with this exercise. Good. You listen to your body. Good for you. Congratulations. Move on to the next exercise. Stop when you're done. Don't stop because you're done counting. Stop when you're done. Okay? We'll field some questions. Who's got a question about counting reps? Look at my body. I pretty much don't need to go to the gym. Oh, wow. I don't need to go to the gym. Well, I appreciate that, man. That's a compliment. Absolutely, I have to go to the gym. And you can check out some of my driving while gainings. I have a couple on YouTube. I have one, I think it's 19 or 20, it might be 20, about maintenance, about what you have to do to maintain. And you got to work out just as hard to maintain. So I appreciate the sentiments, but I worked hard for these bad boys. I worked hard, and I work hard, and I still work hard. I work hard every day. Just because I got to this point doesn't mean you got to work just as hard to maintain it. Thank you for being inspirational. Well, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And feel free to ask any questions anytime. So until someone has another question, before I delve into some of these ones I got on Snapchat, I am on Snapchat, Swolenormous. I do this daily. This is the Daily Swole every day at 12 noon, so you can catch this live. You can catch this live. Those of you that are watching this now on YouTube, these are done daily at 12 noon. You could ask questions in the comments below on YouTube. You could actually ask questions live on Periscope and Facebook every day at 12. So check me out on Snapchat. I do a lot of posting on Snap. I do some comedy. What can I say? I'm freaking hilarious. No, I'm weird. I'm weird as hell. But I have a lot of information, and we're going to get this out there. I have websites. I have a blog on Swolenormous.com. I sell apparel. I sell mildly offensive and socially awkward apparel. If you see my Kegel shirts on Instagram, also Swolenormous, check that out. A lot of cool stuff. I also do program design. I do fitness coaching. So those are all different aspects if you're looking to take your fitness to the next level. I have a different time zone from 6 to 1. Yeah, well, if you're coming, a lot of you are following me internationally, which is amazing. I love it. I love how we can do this and people from other countries can be getting involved. But you can watch this. If you follow me on Periscope at Swolenormous, you can watch it for 24 hours after. On Facebook Live, you can also catch it after. And like I said, it's going to be on YouTube. So you might not be able to ask questions live, but you can also post comments below on YouTube, and I'll get back to you. Those of you that follow me on Snap and check me out, you know that I always get back to every single message. And if I don't, I just didn't see it. So just hit me up again, because I always get back to you. I love to interact, and I love to give the feedback. So, and I saw Tommy just posted that you always lift heavy for larger body parts, and heavier for larger body parts is a great point. Lifting heavy, you don't always, and that's the thing. I talked about max reps before. Max reps should be limited to larger muscle groups, compound movements, multi-joint movements like bench press, squat, where you have multiple joints moving together, not so much like a tricep extension or a bicep curl, because that kind of overloading force can really be strenuous on the joints, on the capsule, on the tendons, and the ligaments. But don't just limit yourself to going heavy on larger body parts and compound. Don't limit yourself going heavy on just compound movements. I would not max out on those single joint movements like the concentration curls, or bicep curls. But I would also make sure that you are going heavy. Just be careful of those max reps. But yeah, definitely it's easier and it's safer to go really heavy on those larger muscle groups. This is a great question. I can see it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name. I'm going to have to look that up, because you're wonderful and I don't want to insult you. But where are you from? Are you from, you're definitely from Scandinavia. Are you from Sweden or Norway? I love the name. Oh, I love that language. Should women lift heavy just as men do, or do more cardio? What's your opinion on that? Those of you that follow me for a while, do you have any idea how excited I am that this question was asked on the Daily Swole? Do you have any idea? Not to mention the caffeine's kicking in. That question gets me hot. I love it. Should women lift as heavy as men do? Let's have other people that follow me answer this question. Type some stuff. Should women lift heavy? Should women lift heavy? As heavy as men? That's a very relative subjective. Should women lift as heavy? There's a yes right there. Boom. I'm going to go with Tommy. Attaboy, Tommy. So proud of you. Women, why not? Women should absolutely lift heavy like men. Here's the thing. Most people want to build muscle and lose weight and lose fat. They want to be lean. They want to be toned. Okay? This whole tone thing, throw that word out the window. I still use it sometimes just because it's rhetoric. It's just the semantics, and I just get caught up with society. But get this idea of toned out of your head. Toned is just, I have muscle and I have less fat. That's what toned means. It's like you can see the muscle and you're lean. That's what tone means. Women use that because they think that tone means they want to be shredded. You know, that dry, nasty, I wouldn't say nasty, but that really ripped, dry bodybuilding look, that's what they call ripped. You know, that's the layman's terms. But toned means I have muscle tone, but I still look feminine, you know, and that's very, that's very subjective for opinion, but I'm just using that because that's the way most people will describe it. Building muscle and breaking down the muscle and doing more hypertrophic rep ranges. What that's going to do is it's going to demand your body to use more calories and to repair afterwards. When you do more damage, in a good way, micro trauma, beneficial damage, not like car accident damage. When you do damage to your body has to repair afterwards. If you're doing cardio and doing 30 minutes, an hour on the treadmill or on a Stairmaster, your body is not working that hard. And I'm telling you for a fact, the body is not working that hard because you're performing activity for half an hour, an hour. You're doing a long time, but you're working at a very low intensity. You're not training that hard. If you're training really hard, like you were sprinting, you all know you can't sprint for an hour. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. So you can walk as fast as you can, probably for an hour if you train for it, but working at your hardest capacity, you can't maintain that for an hour. Okay? That's why marathon runners keep a pace and they run like 5.5 or whatever minute miles for 26 for like marathons. They don't go out there and run a 3-minute mile, 350 or 318, whatever, and then, they'll blow themselves out. Right, so and that's a great point. Women don't produce testosterone the way men do. So when women are afraid to build muscle because they feel like they look bulky. Now what happens is women start lifting heavy, they get inflammation, they start building a little muscle tone, they retain some water because of the inflammation. They're still not eating right. It takes the body a few weeks to really adapt to this new style of training, and the muscle and the swelling kind of pushes the skin out and the fat on top is still kind of remaining, and the water retention, the inflammation, the cells, and what happens is they feel like, oh, I'm looking bulky, and they stop. What happens is it's got to come down to your diet. It's got to come down to your nutrition. But working out at a higher intensity, lifting heavier weights is going to demand your body to repair more after your workout. And guess what? At rest, when you're calm, like right now, I'm burning not a ton of fat, but I'm burning like 100% fat, except when I move my arms really quickly. No? Exercise science joke. That's a creatine phosphate joke. So when you are sitting and chilling, you are burning pretty much all fat. So if I am in more of a deficit from my high intensity weight training, guess what? My body is using more fat at rest to repair the muscle tissue, to provide my body energy and calories to repair and to rebuild the muscle and stuff that I have broken down during my strength training. So understand that lifting heavier is going to build more shape. It's going to be better, especially for women. Here's a very important other tidbit that you might not be aware of. Women are more prone to osteoporosis than men. If you do overload training and you do resistance training and you're overloading the joints and you're overloading the spine, you're overloading the structural integrity of the body, you are going to improve your bone density. Improving your bone density will greatly decrease and likely eliminate, especially, if you don't have osteoporosis running in your family. But if you're more frail, if you have a lot of osteoporosis in your family, very important that you do resistance training and you do overload training, especially on the spine, using a bar, doing squats, using machines, using something that's going to skeletally load that structure of your skeleton. You need to create that resistance for the muscles and also for bone quality. And if you don't, a lot of women suffer from osteoporosis because they don't do any resistance training. Swimming. A lot of people come up to me and say, oh, well, I swim. I do a lot of exercise swimming. Is that great exercise? It's activity. We talk about exercise. It's exercise. It's not, it could be part of a training program. It's not bad for you. I mean, it's very hard. You put me in a pool, I'll do a few laps, and I'm dying. I don't do a ton of cardio. And we'll talk about that another time. But with the swimming, you're buoyant. There's no gravitational pull. Obviously, you can float really easily. So guess what? The earth is not pulling you as much. And if you do swimming only for your exercise, you're not getting that resistance on your bones. You might get some muscle tone, but you're not strengthening the bones, and you're still at a high risk for osteoporosis. So understand overload training, resistance, gravity. You have to put pressure on the body. Oh, I love it. I love it, the Daily Swole. Today was going to be an off day for me. I might have to get absolutely huge. Another thing, I am doing this every day at 12. I also have been broadcasting a lot of workouts live on Periscope. So Facebook Live is a little more inconvenient for just like off-the-cuff broadcasting, but I've been doing broadcasting live on Periscope, and I've also been doing a Q&A afterwards. So I'll do like a broadcast live and I'll work out and people can tune in, check out a couple things, and then afterwards in the car, like 10-15 minutes after workout, I put up a Periscope again, and then I go over and I kind of recap, my form, why I did what I did, and then people can ask questions. And it's awesome. Yeah, because you watch me eat Sour Patch Kids and lift weight and grunt and talk to people and get angry and swear at myself and call myself a pussy and all this stuff. It's fun. I get intense because I put my music on, I rage. So I forget the camera's even there sometimes, but you can ask me questions during. Dylan, what's up, dude? Question. Love is the questions. It's like, you know what? Let me take a sip of coffee. Cheers to that question. Well, you're welcome. I'll call you BGB because I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. Do you follow me on Snapchat, dear? If you follow me on Snapchat, send me an audio message or send me a personal snap and tell me how to pronounce your name. Snapchat's Swolenormous. So please send me how to pronounce your name because I really want to give you a thumbs up for that. I really, I don't want to insult people by not pronouncing your name correctly. All right, Dill, let me see, let me check out your question. Carbs are what build muscle, correct? You're always huge on sweet potato. Oh, yeah, baby. Sweet potatoes for carbs. Do you still recommend these? Any other carbs? Oh, that's a badass question. Carbs are what build muscle, correct? Let's do a Y and an N, a yes and a no. All right, in the muscles. Okay, so your body, you've heard of blood sugar, and blood sugar is just glucose. Every carb that you eat gets broken down to glucose. Now, the type of carb that you eat is important because if it's a fibrous carb, if it's more of what we call a complex carb, like a sweet potato, like brown rice in general, what you're going to get is a slower absorption because there's more insoluble more soluble fiber. So it slows the absorption into the bloodstream. So complex carb is something with higher fiber that the carbohydrate absorbs slower into the bloodstream, which keeps insulin levels a little more stable, so you're not likely storing body fat. I'm gonna get a dry erase board for some of these because I'm gonna have to really write some stuff out, and we're gonna get deep into exercise science, which is great because you guys are gonna get educated to like bosses. So that being said, your body stores glucose and glycogen. Glycogen is a storage form of glucose. It stores this in the liver and in muscle cells. So when you're working out, your body releases a lot of glucose, a lot of sugar from the muscles and from the liver into the bloodstream. So your body can have energy because when you're doing exercise, you're using creatine phosphate, but you're also in the glycolytic exercise metabolism phase, so to speak. So your body is using sugar, using glycogen, breaking down these stores. Kind of like cracking open boxes in your closet. Your body, it stores in the muscle and the liver. Your body goes into the closet, takes out a box, cracks open the glycogen box and busts out glucose molecules and sends them around. When you're eating afterwards, when you're replenishing, that's why one of the reasons why you want to have sugar or you want to have carbs after a workout, or for strength training especially and for bodybuilding, is because your body needs to resaturate muscles and the liver. Now that's important because it does give your muscle fullness, it does repair and provide other kind of like shuttling responses, bringing nutrients into the cells, but the actual building blocks of muscle are amino acids, and amino acids come from protein. So you need both. You definitely need both. Those are basic macronutrients. The macronutrients are protein, carbs, and fat. So you need all of those things. Fat's great for, you have fats because, having fat on your body, one of the reasons why it's good to have some fat on your body, not like just be like 1% body fat. It's not really possible. Like 2-3%, for example, bodybuilding is that you have less ability to store vitamins. There are fat soluble vitamins that need to be stored in fat, and if you have very low body fat, it can be very damaging and dangerous to hormone levels and production of certain elements in the body. So carbs will help resaturate those muscle stores and the liver stores. The protein, your body breaks those down to amino acids and restructures essential and non-essential amino acids to create them and provide the building blocks for protein, for the myofibrils, for the sarcomeres, for the muscle tissue. So both very important. And in terms of good question, Tommy. I'm going to hold that for a second. In terms of what carb, sweet potatoes, this is trial and error. For me, sweet potatoes, I get nothing. I get nothing from beans. I'll eat beans, and I just, okay, if they give you gas, whatever. But I eat them, and then I just don't feel. I don't know. I don't feel anything from beans. I don't feel anything from them. I don't feel like I get anything from beans. I'll eat brown rice, and I just feel like I eat the rice, I chew it, and it just sits in my stomach like fucking rice. And this is just from trial and error. You can do tests, you can do allergy tests, you can do all these different, see what your body reacts to, your hormone profiles of what carb. You can do these. There are tests out there that will give you by blood type, and they'll analyze, elements in your body that will tell you, oh, you should be eating these foods, you're allergic to these foods. Those are great. They cost money, but you can also test these things and see how your body reacts. The more consistent you eat, the more, when you change little things here and there, the more you can see those subtle changes and how your body reacts to these things. Brown rice, meh. When I eat a sweet potato, I feel like someone's like blowing air into my muscles. Like Arnold would say, it's like someone's blowing air into my biceps. I feel freaking amazing. I feel amazing. I feel pumped. I feel energy. I feel jacked. I feel solid. So I know sweet potatoes are great for me. I eat the skin, everything. I bake them. I don't microwave. Don't microwave your food. So that's a personal preference. Try complex carbs. Try it. I always recommend sweet potatoes. You don't have to buy them organic. They are cheap. God, like 79 cents a pound. Don't tell me that eating healthy is expensive. It balances out. Grass-fed beef could be pricey. Organic eggs could be pricier. Let's see. Those things could be. But carbohydrates, what? Kale and what did I just say? Sweet potatoes. How much are you really eating? You're not a horse. You're not eating, 10,000 calories a day. You don't need it. You're not going to grow that big naturally. You're not going to overload yourself that much. The average person is what I'm talking about. Carbs, sweet potatoes, gangster, love them. Tabby, miss you, brother. So Dash, I have a question. Coffee, butter. Oh, speaking of which. Cheers, live in Periscope, and YouTube. Oh God, hell yeah. I get chicken breast for $179 per pound. I could tell you probably where to get it for $149 per pound or $129 if you want cockfighting chicken. Chickens that didn't make it out of the ring. You're a brave boy, Tommy. You are what you eat, right? You get juiced up chickens, you get huge. Coffee, butter, what's the amount we should have? Bulletproof has it based on a tablespoon, but is it more individual? You mean like in terms of what, how much butter you should put in the coffee? That's a good question. Yeah, if you're doing like a ketosis diet or like a super high fat diet where you're really keeping carbs like 50 grams or below, you can almost kind of go crazy with the fat. You're not really going to store, your body's going to metabolize that like crazy. I would start when you're doing the bulletproof coffee, the coffee that I make every day. I've been doing it for about 4 or 5 years. I don't want to use the wrong term, but I've been doing it for a couple years. It came out like probably 4 years ago or so. I think I lose track of the years and the decades. So you put butter and MCT oil. So the butter, a lot of it's just to taste. The more butter you put in, the more butter, the lighter it's going to be. So what I would say is start off with half a tablespoon or more, or a tablespoon per cup or per, that you're making. And, you start with a little bit. And then if you're like, oh, this doesn't taste good enough, you put it back in, put a little more butter in. If you're trying to stick to certain macros, you can measure it. But I would start with a tablespoon. The MCT oil, the oil, start with a teaspoon. A teaspoon is the tiny one. That's not the tablespoon. You start with a tablespoon, you are going to be right to the pooper, I promise you. So start off small with the MCT oil. Don't go hard on the oil, and then gradually bump it up. And then you can go to taste and go to energy. Find your sweet spot, because some of you might feel like, this coffee and the caffeine, it shuttles these oils into the brain, like it shuttles these, elements around. So you might feel like jittery, like, really, a lot of energy. You might feel like really amped up. So go easy on some of this stuff and then see how your body reacts to it. It's always better to go smaller and then you can go harder later. Good question, Toby. Have you been doing the bulletproof coffee? Anyone else trying the coffee? I've been posting a lot on Snapchat. I haven't done any permanent videos on it. I will. There are those out there, but I do my music videos. If you follow my Snapchat, check it out. I did a Backstreet Boys snap today. Some other things before we wrap it up. I also posted a new driving while gaining, working out versus training, and that's on my YouTube channel. So YouTube, Swolenormous. You could also go to bit.ly/DWG021, and I'll put that in the comments below on YouTube. But just go to my YouTube channel, check it out, and you'll see the Driving While Gaining 21. So I've done about 21, 22 of these live broadcasts, but today it is branded The Daily Swole. And I will be doing this every day at 12 noon, so join me. Make sure you're here, join me, ask questions, tell your friends, and it'll also be up on YouTube, so you can always ask questions afterwards on Facebook. I would definitely, if you have questions, go on YouTube and comment below on YouTube, and that way we can keep the conversation where we'll be permanently, because Facebook gets kicked down to the bottom. So when you see this up on YouTube, comment, give it a like, let me know what you think, and also let's just keep the conversation running. I will answer every single comment that gets posted until I get hundreds of thousands of comments I just can't keep up, and I'll still try. Felicia, I've been doing the BP. How do you like it? How do you like the BP coffee, Matt? I mean, if you've been doing it for a few months, I'm assuming you like it, but how do you feel in terms of the energy? Like, you're getting a crash, you're eliminating the crash? Like, what are your thoughts on it personally? How do you feel different now that you've been doing it for a couple months? Was that you, Tommy? Periscope, if anyone knows if I can see previous comments on Periscope, I always look and I forget that they fade on Periscope. Ask me that again. That one that just came up. Ask me that Periscope one again. So, yeah, so Bulletproof Coffee, it's fantastic. I love it, I love it. So, Snapchat, everything is at Swolenormous. Everything is at Swolenormous. Check me out tomorrow. A lot of these comments, a lot of these things will get spurred into, and ask me things on Snapchat. Send me a message on Snapchat. Send me a message on YouTube. And let's get into this stuff more. Should I go barefoot or flat sole for squat? You know what? Tomorrow, we are going to talk about barefoot training. If you watch my show, if you watch my live broadcast, if you've seen any of my articles, you know that I'm a huge proponent. I wear those Vibram Classics all the time. Barefoot training. Barefoot training. We're talking barefoot tomorrow, okay? Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining on the flagship, The Daily Swole 001. Loving it. Love the intensity. Love the interaction. Every day at 12 noon. So be here tomorrow. It's Sunday. Get your brunch, get your bacon, get your sausage, get your pancakes. Maybe I'll even eat. Maybe I'll even have my nice brunch right here waiting. Okay? I'm gonna have guests on this show. I'm gonna be doing different locations. This is gonna be an awesome thing. So thanks for joining me. And tomorrow, barefoot training. See you later. And remember, stay swole. Woo. Today might be arm day again. I don't know. Can't decide. So excited. Get amped. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your Saturday. And remember, tell everyone you know, every day, Daily Swole, 12 noon Eastern Time.